Everyone is speaking out against this as controversy gets in the way of an Oilers win last night at Rogers Place there. And despite the 2 points, there's still, a very bittersweet feeling about that win over the Montreal Canadiens last night. And we will break down everything that came out of that game, the good and the bad. All that more today here on Oilers Digest. We are going to talk a lot during this video, folks. Make sure you hit that subscribe button down below before we get into the recap, as 71% of you watching these videos haven't hit that button down below. So for any and all Oilers news, folks, you know where the place to be is. Oilers Digest. Welcome back to the channel. Hope everybody is enjoying their Friday, their game one of the World Series against the Los Angeles Dodgers tonight for the Toronto Blue Jays. But let's recap last night's game as the Oilers take this one over the surging Montreal Canadiens 6-5 at Rogers Place there. It was a vintage 80s Oiler type of game there as the Oilers improved to 4-3-1 on the season. Taking a look at the scoring summary here, Alex Newhook gets the scoring started in the first period there off of a Lane Hudson shot from the point there. Newhook putting it past Calvin Pickard. And then history for the Oilers, or a milestone, I should say, with his first NHL goal of his career. David Tomasic there making it 1-1 before the end of the first period. And in the second period, the Oilers take a 3-1 lead off the sticks of Adam Henrique. A nice deflection from Henrique, and then Andrew Mangiapane making it 3-1. And despite the Oilers up 3-1, the Canadiens severely outplaying them, and they capitalized on that 3 times in a little over a minute there, with goals from Josh Anderson and 2 straight from Cole Caulfield. And then the third period got very, very spicy there as Alex Newhook added on to the Canadian score there, and then the Oilers coming right back there with 2 straight power play goals. They were gifted. I'm not gonna mince my words here. We've been on the opposite side of this before, Oiler fans, where, just awful calls, more or less screwing the Oilers. And this time, the Oilers on this side of the coin. It's not too often that we are, but last night they definitely were. Leon Draisaitl and Nugent-Hopkins both with the power play goals there. On the bright side, the Oilers, getting some power play reps there and trying to improve on their, their mightily struggling power play so far this season there, with the score at 5-5. It looked like it was heading into overtime there, but Vasily Podkolzin with his first of the season. They're dedicating that one to his father, who just passed away. They're a very touching moment for Podkolzin, but a nice backhander in front of Samuel Montembeault, and the Oilers take this one by a score of 6-5 there. Even though it was 6-5 and the Oilers got the win, it was not a pretty win whatsoever. It was not a sexy win. It was not a stereotypical Oiler running gun win. The Canadiens were outplaying them for a good chunk of the night there. Knoblauch said, you can't play poorly for 50 minutes and expect to win the game in the last 10. But, the Oilers did that last night there. There were a lot of, opportunities where, it was like, what are you guys doing? More so from, the Oilers, which used to be, or not used to be, they still are a dependable top pair there with Bouchard in Ekholm, but they were just not clicking at all last night. A good chunk of the Oilers defense not really doing a whole lot there. Kulak and Emberson all over the place there. The best Oiler defenseman, 1 out of 6. That's normally not pretty good numbers, but Jake Walman in his second game back after returning from his injury there, was much needed for this Oilers blue line, and that is the understatement of the day there. But at the top, Connor McDavid, Andrew Mangiapane, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, the usual suspects. But again, the Oilers need to get this thing going 5-on-5 there, and they can't just, rely on the rest pretty much gifting them power plays all night long there. And then Calvin Pickard, when the Oilers were up 3-1 and the Canadiens were, dominating the Oilers, he held the Oilers in it, but again, Calvin Pickard, I've said it many times before, he's sort of a street hockey style type of goaltender there. He's a backup doing what backups do, and they're coming in when they absolutely need to be. Sure, he could have had a stronger game, but the Oilers, I'm not going to complain more in a win. There is, again, it wasn't the prettiest win, but still 2 points is 2 points. They don't ask how, they just ask how many. Shots on goal 29-27 in favor of the Oilers. The Oilers, dominating the Habs on the face-off percentages there, 63.2, comparing that to Montreal's 36.8. The power plays was going 2 for 5, and then the Habs going 0 for 1 on their only power play opportunity of the night there. I think that's where the Montreal Canadiens fans, the team, the coaching staff, that could have been like, okay, even it up and we'll be fine. But the Oilers, again, there were a few of those calls where I was like, yeah, this isn't going to end up well, is it at all? And then the Oilers, improving on the giveaways. They're only giving away the puck, according to this chart, 12 times. But the elephant in the room was the officiating. I mean, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins sort of, sugarcoating it here for the fans in the media. There were maybe some breaks tonight for us. I mean, Ryan, come on, man. Come on. Let's not do that. But I don't know about the calls themselves. But if you get an opportunity like that, especially in the situation we were in, you got to take advantage, and I'm happy that we did that. I mean, just because the Oilers went on the power play, I mean, it's not like it was an automatic goal in the years past. I mean, the Oilers power play, just a whole lot of perimeter work, but they improved last night. I mean, they made the Habs pay for those so-called infractions. I think just sticking with it was a big thing. We didn't score on the first couple, but we tried to outwork them and tried to keep creating plays, and eventually it paid off for us there. And then Kris Knoblauch, not very happy with the way that his team played for a majority of the night. We were fortunate early in the game to get the goals that we did. We had 3 goals on just a handful of chances in the third period. We created a little more, and we were able to feel good about scoring goals. You can't shoot 4 or 5% all the time. You got to be able to find some easy goals and get a bounce like Tommy's goal. David Tomasik, who shot the puck, and it went off of the foot, I do believe, of Alex Newhook there. But we need to continue to work and press like we did in the last 10 minutes of the third period. And again, you just need a full effort from the team. You can't just coast on, again, the last 10 minutes of the third and expect to win every single time. But again, the Habs, I don't really, share quotes from the other team too often there, but I mean, Cole Caulfield, again, not mincing any words here. He's probably going to get a hefty fine from the NHL, but had this to say. The rest kind of took over the game there, and kudos to them for winning it. It wasn't just Cole Caulfield. I mean, you had guys like Brendan Gallagher saying the Oilers don't need, the help with the players that they have. And, Martin St. Louis saying, the standard of officiating in recent years has been, not as good as it's been in the past. I mean, reffing is never going to be perfect, but if you sort of even it out, or just not call the ticky-tack things, set the standard from the start of the season there and continue that for the rest of the way, and none of this, October, you call everything, and then in the playoffs, the second week of April when the playoffs start, and then you pretty much, the only thing you can call on the ice is murder. They need to set the standard from the get-go right away. Were the Oilers, gifted these opportunities? Absolutely. And if I was a Habs fan, I'd absolutely be furious about this. I'm not just gonna go, go blind the entire time saying, "Oh, nothing, happened here." They were legitimate penalties. I'm not gonna lie to you like that and say the Oilers, shouldn't have gotten those penalties. But at the end of the day, I mean, the officiating, it can only get better, or maybe get even worse there. And just taking a look at some stats from Tyler Yaremchuk, sort of, comparing the two teams. One of the teams in tonight's game is 24th in power plays per games played since the start of last year. The other was 9th there, the Habs being 9th, and the Oilers being 24th. So I don't think this was more so you don't need to launch an investigation over one game for the Oilers. It's not like an NBA betting scandal, but yeah, it can be a whole lot better with the officiating around the NHL, and I'm sure the Oilers will be involved in one of these games later on in the year there, where I'm taking a look at these calls like, what the hell are you guys doing? But that was then, in this is now. The Oilers, we're gonna move away from the whole officiating. I can go on and on. I mean, I've seen the media cover that all day long today, and I'm not going to say anything new regarding the process. My thoughts. The Oilers gifted those power plays. And that's pretty much, my whole thoughts on the situation. But from Zach Lang here, when it comes to the Oilers and Knoblauch using the line blender, Knoblauch says the Oilers will be going with the lines they finished the game with moving forward, meaning McDavid in Draisaitl on their own lines. So Ike Howard, I mentioned yesterday, the Oilers have to give the youth more opportunities, and that is what Knoblauch is doing there, putting him next to Connor McDavid in Andrew Mangiapane, Savoy, Draisaitl in Podkolzin, and then the bottom six of Adam Henrique, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins in Jack Roslovic, and then David Tomasic, Noah Phillip in Trent Frederick there. But for the Oilers, going forward, it was as ugly as a win as it gets. We got the 2 points. I think our team game obviously gets better when each of us gets better individually, so we got some work to do. It's apparent that there are a lot of guys who have been around for a while, played in some important situations and important games, and you're not going to fool yourself that there's a process to winning in this league. Like I said, I think our process hasn't been where it needs to be. You know, Darnell Nurse, I mean, the right message, the wrong messenger there. He's the one that needs to improve the most on this Oiler team. But you've already know my thoughts on Darnell Nurse. But the Oilers, going forward, they take on the Seattle Kraken tomorrow night, the second game of the Hockey Night in Canada double header there. So, the line blender being put away means the Oilers don't have to, try a 20-second different line combination to start the game there. I mean, Knoblauch has tried so many things, but you can't gain chemistry with each other if you just keep changing who is on your line there. So Knoblauch, finally coming to his senses there and realizing, hey, the line blender isn't the smartest thing to do. Let these guys gel together in for an extended period of time. But other than that, that is it for today's video, folks. Let me know down in the comments. I'm sure lots of you will have some opinions on last night's reffing. So, just give me your thoughts on last night's officiating for the Oilers game. I mean, again, wasn't the best. Also, certainly wasn't the worst. I mean, it could have been a lot worse. We've seen the situations where, the refs have just completely lost control of the game there, and then that's when it just turns into a circus and a tire fire. Sometimes both the same. But let me know your thoughts down in the comments. And if you haven't already, make sure while you're down there, if you're giving me your thoughts and you haven't hit that subscribe button, make sure you do so for any and all Oiler news, folks. Take care. Have a great rest of the day. Enjoy the Blue Jays game tonight. Let's go, Oilers. Take care. I'm Matt.